Title: It looked like my friend until I sent the money. Rajiv sat in his small home studio, headphones on, eyes locked onto the screen. He was editing wedding photos for a client, tweaking the lighting on a bride's face, making sure every detail looked perfect. It was late afternoon in Mumbai. The fan hummed above him, and the city noise outside was a dull background hum. He was halfway through editing a client's engagement, shoot-adjusting tones, cropping edges, and sinking shadows. Outside, the street noise buzzed faintly. Inside, it was quiet, focused. Then his phone buzzed. He glanced over. GPay request, 330 from Samir. Seconds later, a message followed. Hey bro, can you send 330 quick? I'm stuck at the petrol station, we'll return in an hour. Rajiv didn't think twice. Samir was one of his closest friends. They'd been at college together, lived in the same hostel, shared meals, bills, and endless memes. The profile picture on the request was familiar Samir, in his blue hoodie, smiling at the camera, just like he always did. The tone felt exactly like him too. Casual, direct. Bro was their thing. Rajiv smiled and typed, "Of course, sending now." He tapped open his GPay app, confirmed the number, and sent 3-0. The app pinged a second later. Payment sent. Then came a reply, "Thanks bro, we'll pay you back by tonight." Rajiv nodded to himself and went back to editing. It felt like nothing. Just one friend helping another. Totally normal. Rajiv leaned back on his cushion and gave himself a short break after the payment. He grabbed a bottle of water, scrolled through Instagram for a minute, then returned to editing photos, sharpening the edges of a sunset shot, smoothing out a shadow on a groom's lapel. About 5 minutes after the transfer, his phone buzzed again. A heart emoji from Samir's number. Rajiv smiled. That was so like him. Quick thanks, then silence until payback. Samir had borrowed money before for random emergencies and always returned it the same day. This time felt no different. Time passed. An hour later, Rajiv finished the photo set and uploaded it to his client's folder. He stretched his arms, glanced at his phone again. No payment. He didn't think too much of it. Maybe Samir got busy. Maybe the petrol station didn't have change, or he had to wait in line for the ATM. Another hour went by. Still nothing. Rajiv furrowed his brows. Not like Samir to stay quiet this long, especially after promising to return the money in an hour. He opened WhatsApp and sent a quick message. "All good?" The reply came almost immediately. "Hey, yeah, why?" Rajiv paused, confused. "The 3-0 you borrowed, everything okay?" There was a pause. Then Samir replied, "Wait, what 3-0? Rajiv sat up straight. "You messaged me. You said you were stuck at a petrol pump and needed a quick transfer. I sent it on GPay." Another pause. Then, "Bro, I didn't ask you for anything. I didn't send you any GPay request." A cold wave moved through Rajiv's chest. He quickly opened the GPay app and went to his transaction history. The payment was there, sent to the same number with Samir's name and profile picture. But something was off. He clicked on the contact and checked the phone number behind the name. It wasn't Samir's number. His friend's account profile image had been copied, cloned. Someone had used a fake number, assigned it a display name and image, and requested money like they were Samir. He hadn't noticed the number, he'd only seen the name. Rajiv's hands went cold. He typed, "Someone used your name and pic to scam me." Samir replied, "Oh man, I just got a few messages from other people too. My WhatsApp was acting weird earlier. Maybe it's linked." Rajiv leaned back, stunned. The voice hadn't tricked him, just a familiar name and a sense of urgency. And now the money was gone. Rajiv stared at his phone, feeling a sinking weight in his chest. The name had been right. The profile picture had been right. The message had felt just like Samir. But none of it had been real. He had been tricked. He opened his GPay app again, this time zooming in on the fine print. The number attached to the transfer wasn't Samir's. It was one digit off, but enough to be a completely different account. How had he missed that? He felt a mix of frustration and embarrassment. He considered himself tech smart, careful. He'd dodged phishing emails, reported spam calls, even helped others set up digital protections. And yet, here he was scammed by something as simple as a fake request. The worst part? It hadn't even felt like a scam. It had felt like helping a friend. Rajiv called GPay support and reported the transaction. They were polite but cautious. "We'll flag the number," the rep said, but unfortunately, peer-to-peer transfers are irreversible unless the recipient agrees to refund it. In other words, money gone. He called Samir and told him the full story. They walked through everything: how the scammer had used Samir's photo, copied his tone, and made the request sound just casual enough to slide past suspicion. Samir sighed. "This is scary, man. What if someone sends that to my mom next?" Rajiv opened his browser and began searching payment app scams using fake names. GPay friend scam. UPI request fraud India. He found hundreds of posts, forums, even videos of people all over the world: Nigeria, the US, the UK, the Philippines facing the same thing. In one post, a woman wrote, "The scammer used my brother's name. I sent money before I could even think twice." In another, a man said, "It wasn't the amount that hurt. It was the fact that I didn't pause." Rajiv closed his laptop and sat back, quiet. It wasn't about losing 3-0. It was about losing that moment of trust, believing the name, the tone, the urgency, without question. He hadn't been fooled by a stranger. He'd been tricked by a reflection of a friend. And that, he realized, was exactly what the scam was designed to do. Rajiv didn't sleep well that night. The 3-0 was gone, and he knew he wouldn't get it back. But what lingered more than the money was the feeling of being caught off guard. He couldn't stop thinking, what if it had been more? What if I'd sent her the 30-0? Or what if it had been my parents? The next morning, he sat at his desk with his phone in hand and opened Instagram. He posted a black text story with white letters. "If your friend messages asking for money, even if the name and photo are right, call first. Always. I got scammed yesterday. Don't let it happen to you." Then he opened WhatsApp and messaged the photography group chat he was in with 8 other freelancers. "Rajiv, heads up everyone. Got a fake GPay request yesterday from a scammer pretending to be Samir. It looked real, profile pic and everything. Be careful." One by one the replies came in. D. "What? I got a similar message from someone posing as my cousin last week." Mika. "This is happening everywhere. My uncle nearly sent money to someone using my photo." Arjun. "I almost clicked on one last night. Bro, this is scary." That's when it hit Rajiv wasn't alone. This scam wasn't just clever. It was spreading fast. And it wasn't about big money. It was about small, believable requests designed to pass under the radar. He opened Canva and quickly designed a simple post with bold letters. "It's not always your friend. Check the number, call to confirm. Scammers are using names and photos you trust." He posted it on Facebook and LinkedIn with a short caption. "I lost 2-3-0 yesterday because I trusted a familiar name without checking the number. Lesson learned. Always verify, even if the message feels real." Within an hour, his inbox lit up. Messages came from people he hadn't talked to in months. "Thanks for posting this. Happened to my aunt last week. You might have just saved me." Rajiv leaned back and took a breath. He still felt a bit stupid, but now he also felt useful. He couldn't get his free 3-0 back. But maybe, just maybe, he could stop someone else from losing theirs. Later that evening, Rajiv sat by his window, watching the streetlights flicker on. The city buzzed below, but he wasn't really listening. He was thinking about how easily he had been tricked. It hadn't been a clever hack or some high-tech breach. It had just been familiarity. A friend's name. A trusted tone. A small, believable request. And he'd fallen for it in seconds. He opened his journal and wrote one line. "Scams aren't scary because they're loud, they're scary because they sound like someone you already trust." That night, he decided to take it further. He called his parents. "Don't ever send money to me or anyone else," he said, "without calling to confirm, even if it looks like it's from me, even if the message sounds urgent." His father chuckled. "We're not that easy to fool." Rajiv replied, "Neither was I, but I still fell for it." They paused. Then his mom said softly, "Thanks for warning us, beta. We'll be careful." After the call, Rajiv recorded a quick video for Instagram and TikTok. "Got tricked by someone using my friend's name and photo. Sent 3-0 through GPay before I realized it wasn't him. The worst part? It felt so normal, so real. Please always call, always double check. These scams don't look fake anymore." He posted it and logged off. Rajiv sat quietly on his bed, scrolling through the comments on his post. Messages poured in, people thanking him, others sharing how they almost fell for the same trick. He realized something important. The scam wasn't just about losing money. It was about how quickly trust could be copied, how easily something familiar could be faked. Moral: Just because it looks like your friend doesn't mean it is. A name, a photo, even a toenet can all be borrowed. The danger wasn't in the app, it was in assuming. Assuming that the person on the other end was real just because they looked real. He now knew. Trust is earned, but in the digital world, it must be confirmed. Rajiv started setting new rules for himself. You never send money without hearing the real voice. Always check the number digit by digit. Huge call even for small amounts. It's slow down before tapping send. It wasn't about being paranoid, it was about being prepared. Because today, scams don't knock, they text. And they speak like someone you love. Follow for more stories that protect your peace, your people, and your pocket. Subscribe for weekly scam alerts, simple tips, and true stories that help you stay one step ahead.